Yesterday, these were in the panel. They are no longer in the panel now. These are good instruments. They're just out of date. You know, they're 40 years old. We've made progress in the last 40 years, and we need to show that.
How do we bring this aircraft into modern standards to help pilots, especially pilots that are thinking about either flying for themselves business-wise, younger pilots that may be looking at careers in aviation, and giving them a transitional aircraft into modern electronic cockpits. So we decided that this aircraft made a good test bed. It's cost effective to fly. It's reasonably fast as far as a transitional aircraft, 128, 130 knots. So we now give our pilots that ability to make that change. We give our customers the ability to see some of the products that are available. We're in Avidyne, Aspen, Dynan, Electronics International. So we provide navigation equipment, flight control equipment, engine management equipment, LED lighting. We're a dealer for a couple of lighting companies. So we can bring that whole package into connection for a potential customer. Sit down and evaluate their aircraft. You know, what are you looking to do with your aircraft? How does all these things that we're talking about here this morning affect a customer? And then the new equipment's challenge, because the functionality of it changes so rapidly. Every time there's an upgrade, there's possibly something new, a new function that can be added to. So a pilot doesn't want to just upgrade things and then just go out and fly the airplane. Want to know what that upgrade is going to offer, if it is a change or just an improvement to the existing system in the aircraft. Professionals that are looking for a way to build their skills. They've learned to fly because they see flying as being a tool in their daily conduct of business. This aircraft gives them that step to higher complexity, more security in its avionics, its navigation, its communications capabilities, because of all the redundancy in the equipment, and gives them that next step from a 180 horsepower engine to a 300 horsepower engine, to possibly moving to a twin like the 310 sitting here, or the 210, that are a higher performance aircraft that a business owner that flies for his own benefit may find productive for his business. We're helping business people and other pilots, recreational pilots, understand that moving to these airplanes doesn't cost you more money to fly. A lot of times it saves you money if you decide to leave the traffic pattern and go somewhere.
What we have here is the Avidyne AMX 240. It is a Bluetooth audio panel. It has two COM inputs, nav input. It also will Bluetooth music. We have here our Avidyne IFD 550, which is a synthetic vision, full 5-inch screen GPS NavCom. We have an Avidyne 440, which is a GPS NavCom, smaller 4-inch screen. And we have our Avidyne AXP 340 transponder, which has ADS-B out. This is the latest in Avidyne products. Skytrax 200 will be located behind the panel, and it'll be a full ADS-B in, which you'll be able to access on your iPad. This is the Aspen EFD 1000 E5. It has an electronic attitude indicator, electronic AHSI, and in these other areas are your conventional six-pack. You'll have your airspeed indicator, your altimeter, turn coordinator, vertical speed indicator. We'll have two CGC 30s, which are the Electronics International electronic engine instruments. It combines attack, manifold pressure, and all engine instruments into one nice, neat little package. We'll have our number 2 nav up here. We'll have a standby attitude indicator here. And here we have reserved a very special place for our Genesis Series 50 autopilot. This will be on the aircraft you see behind me, November 5098 Victor. a Cessna 172RG Cutlass. The purpose of the Cutlass actually will be a complex trainer. The aircraft has 180 horse, constant speed propeller, retractable landing gear, cowl flaps. It has a engine driven fuel pump. It has an electric backup fuel pump, all of which for this particular engine is not necessary. However, in the role of a trainer, it teaches students systems management.
These two round ones here are what we're getting. So you'll see that you're going to have oil pressure, cylinder head temperatures. You're going to have fuel indicators for both fuel tanks. How many volts you're putting out, how many amps, what your fuel pressure is, what your oil temperature is. This is going to tell you how much manifold pressure you have, what your RPMs are. These tell you what your cylinder head temperatures are and your EGTs on every cylinder. So you can look at it at a glance and know immediately what your engine is doing. This makes this system so much more useful to the pilot, makes it very intuitive. You can make changes as you need to, as quickly as you need to, just by taking and looking at your engine instruments, and you know immediately what you've got.
The reason I am so excited about this is that with the integration of glass panel into the modern air carrier fleet, plus the fact that there are legacy aircraft out there with traditional six-packs, and everybody's using electronic flight bags these days, whether it's Garmin Pilot, ForeFlight, what have you. This system will introduce them to the complexities and at the same time the simplicity of using a glass cockpit. Why do I say complexity? Because there's a lot of stuff to learn. Once you learn these systems, they're very simple to use, but you have to understand how to use them because it's another tool in the toolkit for the pilot, excuse me. So I'm excited by this. It's going to be a great learning platform. Plus, it'll be a great cross-country airplane for when you're not training. The 172RG is a great complex trainer. It's a step up from the traditional trainer, such as a Piper Warrior or a Cessna 172, what have you. Without overwhelming you with speed, you can keep the relatively novice pilot doesn't feel like they're hanging on to the rudder while they're flying. They can stay ahead of the airplane, and it's a great introduction to these systems so they can, while concentrating on flying, they can also concentrate on learning these systems. The other nice thing about the airplane is that it is a complex aircraft. So if somebody wants to step up to, say, a Bonanza, some other retract, some other complex, Saratoga, for example, this will help build the time towards their insurance requirements. It will help it will be loggable time for the insurance companies so they can see you've had the experience in retractable airplanes, because that's a big consideration for the insurance carriers.
One of these days, we're going to have plenty of students out here flying these very airplanes, and we will be delighted that they will have a great experience, something that they can share with their family and friends later on, because that's when you become a pilot, you can take your friends with you, you can take your family. When you have a nice platform to fly in, it's something that you can talk about, something to brag about, something you have some confidence in.